Alright, quick disclaimer before this video starts. I just want to let you guys know this isn't a review video, so I won't be pointing out any flaws or going through each episode. It's just a commentary video on my thoughts and what I want to put out there. Think about it as like the Beastars video. Thank you for all the views in that video. I didn't expect it to be that popular. I guess it was a good idea to make it. So because of that video, I'm making this video, and hopefully I can make a future video on another anime I want to talk about. But yeah. And last thing, there are spoilers in this video. So if you're planning to watch this anime, I recommend that you've watched the anime first before watching this video. Thank you. Re:Zero is an anime that I came across during high school years. Okay, that sounded a little weird. During my senior year, I came across this anime while I had some friends talking about it and how sad it was. And it's crazy how I've become emotionally attached to this show while I was watching it and caring for the protagonist and his progress towards his next checkpoint. And when I say checkpoint, I mean in game terms, because the protagonist Subaru Natsuki, he references a lot of things in games and shit, so that's just his type of character. And it's sad to see how he suffers a lot throughout each episode, but it's very satisfying to see where he ends when you reach the last episode 25. Now, for the anime veterans that are watching this video, I have not seen Steins Gate, so in the future I will watch that anime and make a comparison, maybe making a video who suffered the most, Subaru or this guy. I don't know who this guy is. I don't know who that guy is. So, alright, let's get into it. What makes the show effective? Now, when it comes to storytelling, I hear a lot about what makes a plot or overall story good, whether that's world building, character arcs, or interactions and pacing. This all connects to Subaru and his interactions with the characters in this world. In the very beginning, Subaru is very arrogant and naive since he's got no knowledge of the world he's been transported to, only going by his experience with video games and anime. Fucking weeb. He changes the way he is over time after dying and coming back with the knowledge he's learned from his mistake. And I gotta commend him for that, cause that's some pretty ballsy shit. Even sometimes having to change his character entirely to overcome specific situations. Subaru can be effective after he's failed a few times. From my perspective, I automatically put myself into his shoes, knowing that I would react the same in his situation, but less self-centered. I grow attached to Subaru more and more after he's failed and expressed his sadness when he reaches his breaking point, joining his humanity to strangers of the worlds he's unfamiliar with. Especially when he's being honest to save himself, he fails and ultimately suffers the pain of death. This show is not afraid to tell its audience, listen, fantasy worlds are fun, but there are consequences whether you like them or not. Going back to what I said and how this show is effective is that you start to feel for the fictional characters because you can almost connect with Subaru and his struggles. Alright boys, episode 15. I have to talk about this episode because it really impacted me. Not in a major way, but it made me really feel I really thought it was the end when I watched this episode, and it made me feel really sad. I almost cried. That's not a joke. This episode is notorious to me. Don't get me wrong, I binge watched the show at 1 a.m. in the morning, and I got to episode 15 and I had to go somewhere, so I kind of stopped after watching episode 15, and it kind of got me all riled up. But it opens up with Subaru walking into the village near the mansion where he lives, only to find that everyone has been slaughtered. Everyone he's spoken to, every person he's built a relationship with, gone. Doesn't that remind you of something? Demon Slayer much? Then he walks to the mansion only to find that the kids of the village are slaughtered as well. And the girl who's been by his side. Best girl, Rem. She's dead too. The opening of this episode is very dark and gritty, and it makes you feel very uncomfortable as he progresses past all this chaos. But wait, there's more. There's a lot more actually. I shouldn't be laughing. This episode's not fun. Upon entering the castle, he stumbles across Rem's sister and a little girl with her eyes taken out, I think. Sheesh. And then he enters a safe room. I'm assuming it's a safe room, noticing that something's wrong and it's really cold. But it's too late for him to realize, where he freezes to death, hearing, "You are too late," before his face cracks off. Now that last scene in particular hit me because it reminded me of a nightmare I had, and it really spooked me. So I can relate to that scene because that dream I had was not fun. Then he wakes up in terror back to his checkpoint, going completely insane for the rest of the day. That's no joke. And he just doesn't know what to do. He's completely devastated. He doesn't know how to save everybody. So then he later gets kidnapped and tormented by this new character, or new villain as you can say, called Sloth. I really hate this guy. Like, fuck that dude. And then Rem comes to the rescue, only to die playing Twister. Yo, who put that in my script, bro? Subaru dies once more, arriving at the mansion with Rem in his arms, only to watch as the world freezes over, and the credits roll. Now, imagine if the show just ended with that. No context. That's it. Episode 15 was the last episode. I would actually cry. Like, it's such a devastating way to end this show. After all the shit he's been through, like, that is his final death. It's really fucked up if it were to end that way, but it doesn't. You know, it would be pretty dreadful and people would hate this anime. Am I wrong? Anyways, I wanted to talk about this episode in particular because it stuck with me and it gave me a heartache. That's no joke. Like, if you've seen this anime, you will understand what I mean by that. Conclusion. There's a lot more I want to say about this anime and talk about, but I simply don't have the time in this video to talk a lot. I don't want this commentary to be too long because my Beastars video I think was a little dragged out. But it might seem like I'm praising this anime way too much, and don't get me wrong, it's not a perfect anime. Neither is this video review. So, you know, I can name one thing that is a little off about the anime, like how he doesn't care that he's been transported into a world and he just completely has no contact with his mother, father, or friends. But regardless, I would like to hear what you guys have to say in the comments below, and I hope this video was informative, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.